There is video footage of me in the back garden of the first house I ever lived in. My sister's doll is stranded on the top of her big yellow playhouse, and I, a skinny 6-year-old dressed in a Superman outfit, complete with plastic red cape, stride forward and heroically rescue it. The door is blocked. I'm in a city at the bottom of the ocean, a decaying dream of an eccentric billionaire. It is overrun with psychologically and physically scarred occupants, guinea pigs from experimentation. On the other side of this door is Frank Fontaine, my enemy, but I cannot get to him. The door won't open. I'm not the right person. Only a little sister, one of numerous haunted girls who roam the place, is able to give me passage. To convince her to help me, I have to become her protector. I have to become her big daddy, a hulking figure in a retro diver's suit complete with helmet, who has kept me on edge throughout my time in the city of Rapture. Becoming a big daddy is not just about putting on a suit. I have to do more than con my way through that door. But at what cost? Hello and welcome to Digital Wanderlust, a show from internet radio label InRetroSpect, which explores psychogeography in the digital architectures of gaming. In this episode we're taking a long-awaited journey to the city of Rapture, to explore body modification, Superman and a pinch of Randian objectivism. Enjoy. A Big Daddy corpse is slumped nearby, obviously killed in the explosion that has disabled the doors. I reach over and grab a suit control system, my first step in becoming a Big Daddy myself. I've always had a slight fear of body mutation. Dr. Jekyll and his alter ego Mr. Hyde, Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk, Kurt Connors and the Lizard. My childhood fear manifested itself as a resistance later in life to any form of sudden change in my appearance. Tattoos would be out of the question, same with piercings, even dyeing my hair. It's the whole uncanny thing, but hyper, in which any self-inflicted unnatural distortion of the human body unnerves me. I've faced mutated humans in the Dead Space series, Silent Hill and Resident Evil. However, the game that has unsettled me the most is Bioshock. The game contains splicer enemies, victims of experimentation, but significantly, it features a protagonist who constantly mutates throughout. Within 10 minutes of starting the game, I've already altered my genetic makeup. What follows is a constant stream of injections as I rewire my DNA to face enemies. My left hand can become a ball of fire or ice. It can telekinetically draw objects towards it and shoot electric bolts. Now, the actual powers themselves do not faze me, but it's the means in which I acquire them. I see each jab of the syringe and watch my skin metamorphose into something else. It also doesn't help that it's in first person, the sense of verisimilitude compounding my anxiety. The plasmas I contain, the repeated stabs of Eve, the glugs of Adam, the mythical parents of humanity reborn through scientific endeavour. To make not a man, but a Superman. I have to smell like a Big Daddy. In the Little Wonders educational facility, I collect pheromone samples that conceal my own scent with its odour. Every parent has a distinct scent that is comforting to their child. This doesn't feel so bad. Like applying cheap aftershave or perfume, it could be easily washed off. Now, this idea of the Superman takes us not to comic books, but German philosopher and poet Friedrich Nietzsche and his concept of the Übermensch. Now, Nietzsche was one of the major thinkers of modernism, an atheist, misogynist, who sought to find a new morality to replace Christianity. Now, it would be too easy to make sudden parallels between this individual and the founder of Rapture, Andrew Ryan, and his desire to establish a new moral order. Children always respond more clearly to their parents' voice. I now have to sound like a Big Daddy. In optimized eugenics, I find on the wall a grim device called the VoiceBox modification prototype. I let it shred my vocal cords, dropping my voice a few octaves and leaving my blood behind on its blades. I'm now starting to feel more alien to myself. Whilst there are echoes of Nietzsche in Andrew Ryan, 2K games were principally influenced by philosopher and writer Ayn Rand. Aside from the similarities in their names, both share a similar philosophy: objectivism. In a nutshell, objectivism views reality as real. Facts are facts that cannot be ignored or altered to change reality. Reality is not a construct, we know that it exists. Through an understanding of this, humanity can take care of itself. The world is several billion years old. There is no factual evidence for the existence of a god. No, you're not dreaming. You're not in the Matrix. The world is real. Morality comes from logic. Now get on with your life. Rand's development of this philosophy came from growing up in Russia through the rise of communism or collectivism, which adopted the rule that a person should live for the state. She resisted this, arguing that a person should live for themselves, their ability to think logically for themselves, creating a morality that enables transparency between them and others. It's laissez-faire capitalism, built on trading rather than a master-servant relationship. I smell like a Big Daddy. I sound like a Big Daddy. I just need to look like one. In suit assembly, I find a rack of bodysuits hanging from the ceiling. Slipping into one, I'm now able to resist a little more damage. I'm all armoured up. Now let's return to Nietzsche and his search for morality. Like Rand, he felt that men should be treated as individuals, opposed to the herding mentality of Christianity. In his seminal text, Thus Spake Zarathustra, Nietzsche presents the concept of the Übermensch, which is difficult to translate and commonly referred to as Superman or above man, a powerful state of being achieved through the sheer willpower to live. Such a man, and for Nietzsche like Rand, it would always be a man, would be of strength, hardness, and if necessary, cruelty. Whilst Karl Marx, co-writer of the Communist Manifesto, believed that the future of civilization lied with the masses, for Nietzsche it was with great men. The masses would be the foundation for such men, the people he stands on. The bridge, as Nietzsche refers to it, between animal and Superman. We can again see parallels with Andrew Ryan and later Fontaine, named after Rand's novel Fountainhead, who seek to stand above the masses, and it's not too difficult to also make that leap to fascist dictators like Adolf Hitler, for example. Ryan, a libertarian who rallies against all what he calls parasitic ideologies, becomes a Nietzschean Superman through his convictions. His Rapture reminders are dictatorial orders, dressed as pithy proverbs.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
But Rapture isn't really our city. It's Ryan's. Inside the candidate induction, I spy the Big Daddy helmet. Donning it, my peripheral vision shrinks to a circle. It feels more of a mask to conceal my real identity. Frank Fontaine, on the other hand, transforms from con-man smuggler into a literal Superman. An overdose of the miracle drug Adam, transforming him into a powerful foe. If man is a bridge between animal and Superman, then each injection of Adam and Eve takes them one step towards the other side. The game then is a complicated cocktail of metaphors. The biblical myth of the birth of humanity has a limit. Think of the story of Prometheus, who, after creating man from clay, is punished by the gods for giving humanity fire, and thus beginning civilization. A person is not allowed to become a Superman in stories, not unless it acts also as a curse. Bruce Banner, Dr. Jekyll, or even Dr. Faustus do not have a happy life. Not only have they crossed the bridge, but they are able to return to it for instances, haunted by their humanity. They are trapped, with one foot in both territories. I find the last piece of my costume in the Mendel Library, the Big Daddy boots. Legendary Polish theatre director Jerzy Grotowski once spoke of starting with the boots in order to create a character. To walk in someone else's shoes is to take the first steps towards their gait, their posture and their physicality, perhaps even some of their temperament as well. I now no longer stalk these corridors. I charge through them. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, arguably the world's first science fiction novel, had the subtitle of The Modern Prometheus, the monster coincidentally having the name of Adam. I feel like a Frankenstein monster, crossing the rickety bridge to become a Superman. My literal journey to Fontaine is this metaphorical one, fighting fire with fire. But what of Rapture itself? It seems strange, this underwater city, a product of a madman's dream, having a distinctive biblical name. The Rapture, for Christians, signals the second coming of Jesus Christ, and the transportation of believers to heaven, leaving the non-believers behind. However, it also refers to a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. This city then can take on a host of meanings. Is it a second coming, a rebooting of civilization? Or is it a refuge for those non-believers in Christ, but believers in Ryan? Either way, it is not a joyful place. But it is a beautiful place, a scary place, a decaying corpse slowly filling with seawater. It is neither here nor there, an abject place. For Julie Christopher, the abject is the place where meaning collapses, the liminal, the borderline, that which defines what is not. It is precisely that which cannot be imagined at the edge of meaning, which threatens to annihilate the existence of the social subject. We're in a city underwater. There is no government control. Morality exists among few. We're at the borderline between body and society. For whilst we stand on the bridge as humanity, looking ahead to the supermen of Ryan and Fontaine, we have to also look behind us at the humans they stole from, the splicers who have become animals, the little sisters I choose to save rather than harvest. Suited and booted, I feel like Tony Stark in the first incarnation of the Iron Man suit. But I have to tell myself that it's a con. The lie is only skin deep. I'm pretending to be a Superman. Both the supermen and the animals are shaking the bridge of humanity, down here in the Atlantic Ocean. I can't stay here or I'll fall off. I have to choose a side. To lose humanity or lose humanity. To become animal or Superman. I realised then that as a big daddy, my armour isn't to protect me from Fontaine's superhuman power, but to keep my humanity within and drag him back towards it. I may have moved some way across the bridge, but I've not left it yet. It's just pretend. Make believe. My armour is a costume, just as my Superman suit was as a 6-year-old. I'm still human. Well, that brings another episode of Digital Wanderlust to an end. Actually, it's the last of 2013, so thank you very much for listening this year, and I hope you will continue to listen in 2014. To find out more from their internet radio show, InRetroSpect, visit InRetroSpectPodcast.com for a host of podcasts that look at gaming in a fresh and exciting manner. If you want to be kept up to date, you can't be bothered to say check monthly on our site, then follow us at Twitter, at InRetroSpect. If you're not a Twitterer, you can find us on Facebook, just like us there and we'll keep you up to date. Or the best thing that you can do actually is to subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a cheeky 5-star rating. That would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, my name's Dr. Kris Darby, and thank you very much again for listening. See you in 2014, but until then, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.